So I got full salary for a year to sit at my desk making up future cities. So every day I'd sit down with a blank sheet of paper and say, okay, wise guy, this is it, make up future cities. I didn't know what to do. What I've learned now, after how many years later, there's only one thing you can do, is start drawing. I mean, it's so obvious. It's ridiculous to think that there's any other way. So what I learned was I couldn't draw something without thinking about it. And you can't do it any other way. I cannot make that line without making a decision what it wants to be. And then I don't like it like that. That's too far. I'll make this one shorter, just making marks like this, trying to find some kind of a space. Well, that's interesting. It makes this more enclosed space, and I find that really interesting. You can draw a line like that that has one kind of character, and you can make a line like that that has an entirely different character. And you have to make those decisions instantaneously while you're designing the building. So I change the density and character of the line in every drawing, constantly. And it's obviously my own opinion that matters, because I was making all the marks. I just follow my instincts and do it. This is a good illustration of another technique altogether. You see, this one has black shade and shadows. This one doesn't have any shade and shadows. Now, why do I do the different ones? This gets into a personal sense about which is art. One of the things about it being art as opposed to just being a drawing of architecture is that it cannot be too tight, too specific, too engineered, say. It's got to have character in the way it's drawn. And this is almost too easy to understand to me. Now, I can understand that immediately, but a lot of people will look at that and not get it at all. But they would get this. And that space and all that going on in there, it's key to the whole thing. It's part of it all. Every day I would sit down with a blank sheet of paper trying to draw the space that I thought was the greatest space you could possibly have. That everybody walking and say, this is just fantastic. I was finding out some basic things about how I draw, what I think. Why do I want this here? Do I like this? Is this good or is this bad? What do I think? You do that 1,000 times, you'd be surprised the ideas you come up with. I had an exhibition at Krannert Museum, which was the big university museum at Illinois. And there were some people at that show that wanted to know if they could buy some of my drawings. That was a shock. It never ever occurred to me to sell my drawings. So I decided to switch gears and draw future city drawings that would be sold as art. So I've balanced that line over time. And some people have said this drawing is too architectural. And I would agree with them. So I'm always trying to capture that quality and character. And how the drawing is done is important and vital to that. And I had identified my goal as high density because I saw that as a potential solution to urban sprawl and what was happening in American cities. You have to remember, when I first started doing this, there weren't any freeways. I mean, everything's changed radically since then. And high density was something that made a great deal of sense to me. I want to shock people into waking up to thinking about their cities. I think people are indifferent to it and let developers do whatever they want, and city planners doing whatever they want. We can't keep building subdivisions forever. Everybody assumes, well, that's the way it is. It ain't the way it is. And we can confront that state of mind. There's a turning point in which this whole thing's going to collapse, and it's collapsing right now. The carbon emissions and everything else are coming. Halt. Stop. What are we going to go to? I don't think we're going to go to this, but maybe it'll get people thinking. We've been thinking about downtown in the wrong way. We've been thinking about it in the old-fashioned way. Let's think about it differently. How do we do that? This is a big point to me, the how-to. The how do you do it? How do I know what to do? Drawing. This may sound absurd, but there is no other method on earth than drawing. You have to start making pictures of what it's like. You have to. You can't do it with words. I think downtown ought to look like. You can't describe it. The only way to describe it is to draw a picture of it. You gotta let go of that kind of control and just let it happen.